What's up, everyone? It is that time of the week. Psych. It's not, but we did it on a different day. Please excuse our appearance while under construction. How long does Brad show up? How long does it take for Alex to show up? You know, some of the regulars.
The regulars.
I didn't tell them shit about.
We love our regulars. Just like a bar.
Shit about the show today.
Everybody knows your name.
Everybody. I went to Cheers. Have you ever been to Cheers?
I've never been there.
Went to the Cheers.
Never been there. I would love to go there. You'd never invite me anywhere.
Dude, you didn't even cross the bridge.
Be nice to be invited. Just to feel like, that I'm wanted, that I'm needed, that I'm, a friend would like to sit down with me and toss back a few. It'd be nice.
Well, if you noticed our headline when I shared it said, "Let's drink." So I'm drinking.
I can't drink. Are you drinking tonight? What are you drinking?
Grim Leaf. Grim Leafer by Liquid Death.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's not alcohol. That's not alcohol.
Yeah. I remember when these guys weren't big. No one didn't know about them. Now they have $1 billion in valuation. Would you guys like to sponsor me?
No, I sadly cannot drink tonight, and it really does suck. It's Saturday night. I'd like to be having a few brewskis. I can't.
Mike, I noticed that you have an eye patch on. Is there a parrot about to land on your shoulder?
Arg.
Arg.
That is part of the reason why I
Shiver
cannot.
me timbers.
Because when you have kids, Godfrey, I don't know if you know this, but the worldwide advantage of having kids is that you get to have all the germs that you never got to experience through your life just attack you all at once. So
Do you yell at your Laura and say you did this to me?
The end of 2022 and the beginning of 2023 has been filled with sickness and doctor's visits and urgent care visits and hospital visits, all from the pure joy of having children.
That's what your body sounds like when you get sick. In your house,
probably what
it's Arnold Schwarzenegger on Total Recall when he runs out of oxygen.
Yeah, that's what my body is yelling at me right now. I'm wearing an eye patch right now, and the reason for that is I've gone 42 years of my life here on Earth without ever having a pink eye.
Now I'm surprised because I take you for a person who likes to get their pillow farted on a lot,
and somebody who doesn't wash their hands all the time coming out of a bathroom. But I've been able to skeet away from getting any pink eye. But so not only do I have pink eye right now, but I also have a sinus infection. So you might hear a little raspiness in my voice. I might cough. So in the broadcasting world, we've tried to eliminate coughing with hitting mute, pointing our face away from the microphone. But I've been coughing so much, and during this conversation, this show that we're gonna have, I might have to cough a few times. So I want to preemptively apologize to the listeners and to the viewers from coughing, sneezing, or if I scratch my eye during this
what kind of show is this? Do we don't have a cough button? We're not a professional studio.
I do, but the coughing fits sometimes come so frantically that I might not be able to lunge for the cough button.
So no one did fart on your pillow?
Not that I know of. But I do have
talk to your girl.
A 4-year-old and a 10-month-old. And, their little fingers, who knows what they've been on, where they've been, what they've been touching. And then they like to think that daddy's a jungle gym. So I don't know. I would like to think that my fiance is the one with the poop fingers, but you don't know. So
that's funny.
Somebody in the house has poop fingers, and that poop finger touched my eyeball.
Hence why you wash your hands.
If you touch any poop. You don't touch the poop.
You probably touch more poop than you realize.
If you don't touch the poop, don't wash your hands.
Yeah, well, speaking of things that happen when you're a kid, or maybe when you were a kid, was there a food you had that you hated as a kid that you like now as an adult?
I've thought of this, and I cannot think of a food that I disliked as a child. I'd have to go to Toxic Mom. Toxic Mom, if you're watching, let us know if there's any foods that I did not like as a child, because I think I pretty much liked everything. We do have a little comment in the chat room right now that my fiance says, I do not touch your eyeball, but she does not deny that she has poop fingers. So I'm just going to leave it at that.
Wow.
Going to leave it at that.
Wow. Interesting.
I
do not touch your eyeball.
So no, I do not.
Or the eyelid. Yeah, listen.
I don't remember having a food that I did not like. One that I probably wouldn't have eaten as a child, Brussels sprouts, but I do enjoy them now if they're seasoned correctly. What about you?
That is oddly enough, that is mine as well. I love Brussels sprouts now. I probably eat them 2-3 times a week to get my vegetable in.
Yeah, that is I think across the board a hated food item amongst all kids that I think it takes until you're in your mid-20s to find out that you like them or to have somebody cook them in a way that you enjoy them.
Yeah.
But yeah.
No, I hear you on that one. I like them now, on my diet journey. I've lost 15 pounds, so I'm doing pretty well. Actually,
dude, congratulations.
17 pounds.
Give you a little applause right there. That's pretty damn good, dude. Keep up with it.
That's a clap. That's a clap, guys.
What is that? It sounded like a dog.
That's supposed to be a clap.
That was not a clap.
We'll do it this way. That's applause. Yeah, man, I'm feeling good. Clothes start to feel better.
That's
a bit
good,
better,
dude.
you know what I mean?
For Laura, it was fruit. She likes fruit now. That's why she's with me.
Really? Yeah, you are a fruit. So fruit. Okay, so she hated all the fruit when she was a kid. Wow. Okay.
That's interesting. Most kids I know enjoy fruit.
Yeah. Yeah, but there are fruits that suck. Like
What fruit
grapefruit.
sucks?
No kid
No
wants
grapefruit.
grapefruit.
Fucking grapefruit. Anytime I see somebody in the in the lunchroom at work eating a grapefruit, I just look at them like, you
They're
do
on a
not
bullshit
enjoy that.
diet.
You do not enjoy that. And the worst thing is when you get a
Yeah, what kind
beer.
of person do you have to be like, you get up in the morning, you know what I would love?
Yeah.
Get my day started?
Uh-huh.
Grapefruit. I want a
Great.
fresh
Who
grapefruit.
wants a grape? Nobody wants a. And you've got to add something to grapefruit. You never eat a grapefruit by itself. There's got to be
Anytime
sugar or
someone
something on it.
eats grapefruit, it's because you're either part of that 1% that likes it,
Yeah,
or I'm going to go 99% of people don't like grapefruit, but
I would
maybe I'm
say
wrong.
that. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
with you.
or you're on some kind of restricted dietary thing because you're in bad health or you want to lose weight.
Uh
You
huh.
know, I think some diabetics do grapefruit, but it is bitter as shit. She
The
didn't like
worst.
steak as a kid either. Well,
The
it's
worst is. I was gonna say
but
the worst is when I get a beer or a seltzer
oh,
that's
grapefruit beer.
flavored. Why?
Uh
Why are you doing that? Who does that?
I'll tell you the worst beer I ever had. One of the worst I ever had was apricot flavored.
Oh,
And it's just there's flavors. We talk about this all the time where you're just trying to do too much. Like, I actually drank a sriracha beer once. That was awful.
what?
Uh,
Oh,
yeah,
that's
sriracha
just
flavored beer.
that is just
I
the
just had to
worst thing
buy it
ever.
and try it, and it was awful. But I do like fucking cantaloupe now. Like, I'll eat some cantaloupe, man.
Oh, I'll fuck up a cantaloupe. I will fuck up a cantaloupe.
I gotta buy it cut up though because and listen, maybe I don't know what I'm doing. Make fun of me if you want, but I don't feel having to like cut it up and scoop it out and like you gotta like work to get the cantaloupe.
Oh
It's
yeah,
almost as bad as eating crabs.
you gotta work for it. But I think the cantaloupe, if you take the time to slice it open, cut it up, put it in a Tupperware bin or something, put it in the fridge, amazing, wonderful.
You, I made cantaloupe for your mom once. No, I'm just joking. All
What, mommy?
right. So yeah, man, weird stuff. What got me thinking about that is like someone was talking about it, like how your palate changes when you get older.
Yeah,
Um,
I think they say
from when
every
you're
7 years.
younger.
Every 7 years, your palate
Really?
changes. I think that's what it
So
is.
when did you like it? When did you start eating ass? When did you realize you had a palate for that?
That was, I think, at age 22.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Okay. Gotcha. Just hit you one day. You're like, you know what?
yeah.
I want to eat the booty like groceries.
It was over my friend Bananas and Rob.
Did you say Bananas? You have a friend
Yeah,
named Bananas?
yeah.
Is Bananas a CEO of a company?
He is not. He actually, wait a second. He is. He owns a company that does glass, a glass company. That is true. Yeah.
Good for him. Good for Bananas. All right, so we're moving
All right,
on.
Godfrey. I wore this patch because I didn't want to gross people out with my gunky, goopy red eye, and also because I just don't want it dripping. I'm taking it off. I'm taking it off.
The way
So
you
I
describe it is
apologize.
disgusting.
I apologize to the people watching.
Can you blurry out your
live.
one eye and not make
I
the viewers
wish I
look at it?
could, but if you have to look at it, it's got to be goopy and droopy and red. Sorry, but it has to come off. I can't
Mike's
do the
like Mike's
whoa.
experience is like I'm listening to it, and as a guy, that
There's
doesn't
gonna
have
be some
kids,
eye boogies. Should I get a little close up of it on the camera?
Mike gets pink eye. Like he get. He
Can you
gets
see?
all
Can
this
you
shit.
see it? Can you see that it's red?
Oh, that's hot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
There you go.
Yeah, people. Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh,
Okay.
where do other viewers go? Oh, yeah. After that, so yeah. So, just a couple stuff, things I was thinking about this week. You know what I thought about this week, and you know what made me think about it?
What's that?
Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Rocky Horror Picture Show. Just a step to the left, and then a jump to the right, with your hands on your hips.
What a
You
great
bring your
performance!
knees inside.
Oh, it's not nice.
It really
All right.
does it inside.
What made me think about it was
Let's do the time warp. I'm not letting you freaking step all over the time warp.
so if people, it is a time warp. When you think about it, it was ahead of its time, and I'm not a huge Rocky Horror Picture fan, but I do recognize the historical significance of it and its cultural place. I've actually been to a couple live ones, so I have seen it.
A
Entertaining.
live showing of the Rocky Horror Picture Show was my first real life interaction with a transvestite. He, whatever. I don't know. I didn't question what they preferred, but
And you
it
know
was
where?
my first interaction. I was kind of
Wait, you don't wear clothes? I mean, you don't wear women's clothes?
who, me?
So you mean by going to it, you didn't become a transvestite? Is that what you're
No,
saying?
no.
Mm.
What is wrong with you?
I don't know. Well, made me think, what is wrong with people? Like, so the big thing going on right now, is this thing about, protesting drag time story hours or drag shows. And to me, yeah, learn the lyrics, bruh. But
you,
to me,
Laura
horror
gets so
picture show,
frustrated with me when I don't know lyrics, or yeah, she gets so mad. But go ahead.
Rocky Horror Picture Show was kind of my first exposure to that, I guess, in person on that scale.
Yeah.
Um, and I just wondered, like, today, would people try to protest it, or if it wasn't a classic, would they try to say, oh, uh, you know, the kids are going to turn into this, turn into that, and I tried to look at it and say, do people have a genuine concern about these drag queen story hours, right?
Yeah.
And I don't really think they do, because I'm going to tell you why. Not going to get too into that, but if I was a concert promoter or someone to put on shows, I would do a Rocky Horror Picture Show like crazy right now, and it will sell
Oh
out.
hell yeah! I
And I
think
would
they
turn it into a anti-protest. Now, the reason why I bring it up is I think, like, it's crazy, like this stuff that's going on where people are making that a huge thing. This is the thing that, not that either of them are wrong, but this is what blows my mind. Most people don't get, because you wear women's clothes doesn't necessarily mean you're transgender. You could be you could be a crossdresser. That's been around since the '80s.
like my 100% idol, not a joke. My idol, Fat Mike from NoFX.
Well, keep him in mind, because we're going to say who are a couple American heroes to you personally in your mind once we get
Okay.
on to the next subject. So keep Fat Mike on the burner. No, Fat Mike is not Toxic Mike. Don't say that. I had deleted that comment, Mike. That's not nice. So that being said, what I would like to say is, I don't want to get too deep into the politics of it, but I do want to talk about how, like, it was no big deal. Like, you just didn't go to it. You didn't show up. And I'm just, this thing of, we have this holy cow about something that doesn't really matter. Like, there's been drag shows forever. There's been drag time story shows forever. Like, I don't have a kid. So let me ask you, Mike, would you allow your kid to go to a story time hour where a drag queen read the book?
Yeah. Why wouldn't I?
I'm just asking you because you're a parent.
I hear you, but
I'm not a parent.
yeah.
So people might be listening, might say, this guy doesn't understand he's not a parent. So,
Absolutely. I would have no problem with that.
I'm a big live and let live guy. And I just think politicians on both sides of the fence, but we know what side's pushing this one, is that they take things and make them a big deal that they really aren't. Like,
Right.
and it happens not a lot of the time. And, it's because they get to talk about air and don't really do anything. So I'm not going to go all political, but I just thought, like, man, with Rocky Horror Picture Show, would people protest that? And if I was when I've seen Rocky Horror Picture Shows, it's been not like the original, obviously, but people remake it. And because I guess that came out like what, 83, Mike?
Right. Somewhere around there. I don't remember
It
exactly.
came out in theaters, correct? Was it a movie in theaters? Right?
I think so. Yes.
Yeah, I guess in the whole Grease era too. I mean, you got, so, not that it's the same type, but in the same style, I would say, as far as singing and the type of scenes you're seeing. But and it was enjoyable. I have friends that have performed in Rocky Horror Picture Show. Their parents, so my thing is live and let live, and no one's hurting anybody. If your kid doesn't, if you don't want your kid to go there, that's cool too.
Absolutely.
You don't have to explain to me why. Just like if you want to go, you can take your kid. You don't have to explain why. No one's hurting anybody. But it's just like they're making it more of a sexual thing than it really is. But I think Rocky Horror Picture Show was made at its time to push the boundaries, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah.
And now it seems like we're moving the boundary back for the sake of what I do not know. And I just think I just thought of it like something, it popped up somewhere. And, I enjoyed it. It's an interactive show. Some places do it well. A friend of mine was in the show and, you know, people who get involved in that show is a more diverse group than you would think if you didn't have any understanding of the show and the kind of people that get involved. You might think to yourself, oh man, everybody that does that show is definitely a liberal. Not true. That's not true at all. Everybody from every background, political ideology, they have more similar interest in 1978, really ahead of its time. They have more. You guys have more in common than you really realize, right? And Rocky Horror Picture Show makes me really think about that because it's unusual, especially for 1978, and it's still celebrated to this day by people who weren't even alive when it came out. And even if it's not celebrated, I would say a good portion of people know what Rocky Horror Picture Show is. And I just think, could something like that happen today, Mike? Right? Like if I know in certain cities and states you'll be able to do it, but I would purposely book it in areas that are so afraid of it.
It would and it could. The difference between then and now, even though they did protest it back then. They didn't want it out there. Okay. They didn't want it to happen.
But so history is repeating itself.
I think that because it's way more out there, way more in the open.
1975
they've been trying for a long time now to really push it as acceptable and acceptance into society. I think that the fear is a lot more there in terms of the fear of your child being introduced to it and trying to be accepted for it. Whereas back then, you were so many people were in the closet or were afraid to come out because of the society back then. Back then, it was okay to still hit your kids if they got out of line. It was okay to discriminate. It was okay to do certain things to a certain degree back then. It isn't now. So I think that today it would be a lot more national news, because of the 24-hour news cycle. But I think you could absolutely do it. I mean, you look at, movies like The Birdcage with Robin Williams, where they played two gay men, which was at that time revolutionary. You still have cross-dressing roles out there. Again, just not to too much of an extreme, but they're out there.
I mean, it did, unless I'm getting the stats right, it looks like it did $200 million when it came out in theaters and box offices, which in 75 is pretty impressive.
And it was a star-studded cast too.
Star-studded cast. So I'm not even a huge Rocky Horror Picture fan. Actually, I don't hate it. I don't like it, but I just thought it was interesting because, we gotta stop falling for this like burn the books bullshit and
I agree
ban everything bullshit. Because it's crazy to me. Like grown ass men showing up to a drag queen hour because they think their son or daughter is going to turn gay.
Yeah.
Just by getting a book read, and let's say it like it is, because getting a book read, and it's not even their son and daughter there 9 times out of 10. So you're trying to prevent other people from living and let live. And these same people who do this, sometimes they're carrying guns afforded to them by their Second Amendment right, but they don't respect someone else's free speech.
Yeah.
So you're not you're not someone who loves democracy. You're a fucking fascist.
So I have a question for you. Staying on the same topic. I know I brought him up. I'm going to bring him up again, but there's a reason behind it. So follow me down this road real fast. So we got Fat Mike. He's here, right? He's in front of a crowd. Very open. He wasn't always very open. It took him a long time. I think it wasn't until the 2000s that he started really openly wearing women's clothing on stage at his rock shows, being a lot more open about it. But he became so open with the fact that he enjoys wearing men and women's clothing that he opened up this this clothing line called Fatal. Fatal? I forget how to say it. fun for girls and boys. And the whole thing is he's selling panties for men because men deserve to feel pretty as well.
I'm not. Yeah, well, I'm definitely not going to be one of those customers.
So,
But hey, if that's what you want to do, that's fine.
so these are panties for men, and I'm asking you, would you go down the line of ordering
No, for
some
me,
panties for men?
no, not a
No,
chance.
why
No,
not?
would you? Not
Yes,
into it. Good for
it's
you.
underwear. It's nothing but underwear. I mean, you can't get the dresses that are sold
Yeah,
in men's sizes.
definitely not my thing. And I think this is where some people feel like it's shoved down their throat on the other side,
Ew.
and that's where they get frustrated with it. Not this kind of stuff, but in general.
Yeah.
Um, and listen, I could see because everything gets politicized for someone's benefit, whether you're on the wrong side or the right side a lot of times. So it gets it confused. But yeah, I mean, me personally, not my thing. Never was. Um, don't hate anybody for it, but usually, yeah, definitely not gonna do that.
If
If
one
you
of
are
the
though,
if one of the listeners or the viewers out there would like to go to the website and order our friend Godfrey a pair of these.
or how about you go to the Toxic website and maybe we can get a taking a deep thong on there, and you can order one of those.
Fataledesign.com,
Can we offer that, Mike?
Fatale design.com. Order Godfrey a pair.
Yeah, Jesus, definitely ain't wearing them. I'll show them if someone does though. I will show them on there, but not on me.
I thought that's where you were going.
Fuck no. Nope, 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 nope. Just not my thing. But listen, send some to Mike. Sounds like he'll wear it on air for you.
I
Always
would.
knew you're a panty guy. So
Nothing wrong with
but
that. You've never worn you never were with a girl just for fun, just put on her panties?
as a joke,
Yeah.
no, never have. But
Never. I'm
no,
shocked. I'm very shocked.
yeah, I don't know why I'm gonna put them on when I want to keep them off. But that's just
No, put them on you.
Oh no. It's not my thing, man.
I'm gonna suggest next time you're with a lady.
I would have to get pretty drunk.
Next time you're with a lady and you're a little tipsy, for just fun, just try them on.
Yeah, we should put toxic thongs on the website.
There's been many
taking a deep thongs.
different thoughts on that. There was also a thought that they should be color changing thongs at the front when they get wet, turn green, so they'd be black. They turn green when they get wet. There's different thought processes on that, but that has gone down the thought train in terms of if we should do it. Never came to fruition.
Speaking of thought train and things that piss you off, so do you think if you buy wings from a place, the first blue cheese should be free or ranch, whatever you choose?
Absolutely. Why wouldn't it be included in the price of the wings? That's the way it is. That's why when you order wings, you say, I want extra.
So I have to expose someone for not doing this.
Expose them. Bring them to light.
Expose them. It would be Wingstop. They will charge you for the first blue cheese.
Sons of bitches. You sons of bitches at Wingstop.
I won't buy there. Not unless you have to buy like a bigger portion of wings. But if you get like a small portion, they want to charge you for, they call it veggies and blue cheese. They don't give it to you with the blue cheese.
You gotta be the veggies, the celery and carrots. You freaking.
I went on their web. I was like, the audacity of this place. I've seen them go out of business.
Absolutely,
the audacity. I'm like, really? Oh, you want a burger? No problem. You're gonna have to pay for the bun, but the burger's $5. It just comes with it, right? Like blue cheese or ranch. Like, sometimes there's a sauce on a wing and you don't get that with it. But if it's your traditional wing, it's a standard. I'm a blue cheese guy.
For that, I would.
The first, I can maybe see the second one, but the first one, I was like, nah, not doing it. Nah. I had one near me. I'm like, I'm never going. I'm not going. That sucks.
Sons of bitches. Sons of bitches.
I knew that would go right up Mike's ass.
Yep.
But listen, speaking of businesses, let's do our commercial. We have a couple commercials. Play the first one first,
Wait, what?
and
You can't
the
say the
croc.
first one first. Now, just to pull the fourth wall down for a second, Godfrey spammed me with a shit ton of videos before we even started, and he just nonchalantly shoots at me and goes, "Play the first one first." I've got like 10 video tabs open up on my screen. Which one do you mean?
Well, we got play. We can. Do you have the one with the Crocs?
The Crocs. Okay. Thank you for giving me a little eye-opening thing.
I always think Crocs are funny. When someone wears Crocs, I'm like, is that in sport mode? But then, like, I see this advertisement on TikTok. I'm like, okay, here we go. What is this? I'm like, oh my god, they have Croc accessories.
Croc accessories. Thank you.
Croc accessory.
And it is my favorite thing. Any real, listener to the show, somebody who's listened for a long time, knows how much Mike loves playing TikTok videos for the show.
Oh yeah.
We're working on fixing how that goes through, but just know that I love it. I love it. Here we go.
Just when you thought Crocs couldn't get any cooler. Even comes with 4 extra batteries. So easy to use, they slot in perfectly. Defo going to use these on my nighttime dog watch.
So what this is, you want to explain it or you want me to?
Yeah, they want to be a real life like duckbill platypus, like with flashlights on their feet.
So right now there's a big thing going on with Crocs, and not only Crocs, but the ability to put like flare on them. Just imagine, instead of putting your flare like at somebody that works at like Applebee's or something, they have all their flare on their vest. Just imagine all that flare being on your shoes. And that's
Crocs
what they started doing.
Yeah. Crocs make sandals. And I almost bought a pair of Crocs sandals that were 7-Eleven limited edition brand.
Jesus Christ.
That's right. But I didn't.
So what this commercial was for was basically little headlights that plug into your Crocs that give you lights on your shoes to see where you're walking.
Putting it in sport mode. You're putting it in sport mode when you do that. You're like, yeah, and then we're gonna accessory up my Crocs. First of all, Crocs always look dirty as fuck. Like you throw everybody's Crocs that they been wearing for a while. It looks like you dipped it in water and threw it in a dirt pile. And you're like, oh, hey, what's up?
Crocs are that shoe that, like, I swear for years people just made fun of everybody who are wearing them,
and like, now they love it.
That's what I'm saying. Like the meetings at the Croc corporate headquarters must have consisted of like them going into a room and like the CEO just going, just keep hanging there with me, guys. It's going to explode. They're going to catch on, and eventually they did. That's what I feel like happened with Crocs.
Crazy. I'm not wearing Crocs, but
me neither.
Yeah, so we're going to do our commercial of the week. We'll have a runner-up. That was kind of a runner-up, but our winner of the week we're going to play right now. And that is the dumpling one there, Mike.
Oh, Uncle Roger? That one?
Yeah, now this is a real advertisement. I checked into this. Also,
I got to say that I love Uncle Roger on TikTok. He's hilarious.
You know who he is?
Yes, I've watched a lot of Uncle Roger's videos.
All right.
He will play people out. He will trash people. It's pretty fun.
Today, Uncle Roger gonna teach you how to make dumpling. This is Uncle Roger's favorite brand of soup dumpling. See, it already come pre-made. Don't make your own soup dumpling. You're gonna fuck it up. Hiya. Grab your large wok. Bring 2 to 3 inches of water to rolling boil. Is that actually 2 inches? Uncle Roger been lying on my Tinder profile. Put steamer basket into wok. Put dumpling into steamer basket. Give the dumpling a bit of space between them. Cook for 11 minutes. And while you're cooking, think about your sad life. Why do the people you love always leave you?
Oh.
Dumpling ready for you. Look at this. Look how nice this look. Don't put the whole dumpling in your mouth. You're gonna burn yourself. Many white people make this mistake. Tastes so good. So juicy.
There you go. Uncle Roger.
What's fucked up is I have made that mistake. Fuck you, Roger. Fuck you. But anyway.
Roger.
Yeah, Roger. Son of a bitch.
You piece of shit, Roger.
We're gonna be doing a commercial. We're gonna try to do a commercial of the week. So speaking of TikTok, they're trying to really, really ban it. It got voted on And
Government phones are not allowed to have any phone. A government employee that uses it for any kind of government work is not allowed to have TikTok. I work. My job is manufacturing for the DoD. If I want to use my phone for any kind of work, I'm not allowed to have TikTok on my phone. So yeah.
So here's the thing. That's okay. That's not new.
No,
that's fine.
It's fine.
Okay. I know people that used to work at Lockheed Martin and they couldn't have a camera phone. Like,
right.
You could not have a phone with a fucking camera on it, literally. And for a long time, I don't know if it's still the case, you have to sell them as a wireless company. You have to sell them non-camera phones. So
walking around with a flip phone, a razor.
I don't have a problem with that if that's what they want to do. But what I have a problem with is them trying to ban it for regular people.
Yeah.
And really, what's going on here is they've been totally being lobbied by the social media and Silicon Valley in the United States to make this happen. That is what's happening. Follow the money. You could look at the Google, use the Google, and they're getting their ass kicked in advertising. Now there's nothing's perfect, but I look at this like when there were taxi cabs, and then Uber came along, and Lyft, and taxi cabs were so fucking awful that it wasn't even an option to take a taxi cab. You remember those days, right, Mike?
Yeah.
Now they're there. And why were they able to disrupt the industry? Because they were doing things differently. Now what they're trying to do is take a disruptor in a society that's supposed to be capitalistic, an innovation, if you will, that we're good at innovating because we have less regulation, so they say, and want to try to ban it altogether when they can just simply regulate it like they did with the government and say it can't be on the phone. Now people like Josh Hawley, who's a senator, is trying to push for a full ban. And I hear people say things, and this is a great example of how the government will push a narrative. Not when I say government, doesn't mean the whole entirety of it. We're not talking about like a desk worker at the IRS here. We're talking about politicians. So I'll just say politicians. Politicians will push things if someone is paid for them and they're on the team. And they've been lobbying that side of the political aisle to push it. And using the China boogeyman, they're based in Singapore. And you could absolutely regulate them over here. They have family time now for TikTok. If you want to limit people's viewing like they do in China already, they give you the option here. You could do that as a parent and be fucking responsible. You shouldn't let your child, I think, have copious amounts of times on social media anyway, because they're getting exposed to things at light speed. But with that being said, it's not a perfect world and things happen. And I will tell you that banning TikTok is going to hurt a lot of creators. And I think it's a shame. And they don't give a fuck because it's all about them protecting the billions, the Silicon Valley companies. They should be standing up for them, not against them. There's nothing to this date that anybody has been able to produce showing what TikTok does differently that is so harmful to the American citizen than Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, MySpace, Friendster. Those last two are out of business. Twitter. No one has been able to show that. So because what they're trying to say is we don't like that they get data from you just like we do, but they use it better somehow, or they like the product better somehow. There's things I don't like about TikTok, but the thing about it is you got to think, what's the end goal here, right? Is another product going to pop up like TikTok? Absolutely, because they're not making any regulation. So they're just saying because they're Chinese. I think this is an old trope they use. You all often hear the phrase, China owns most of our debt. No, not really. You should really look at what that actually fucking means, because people believe that. They think that means that they owe a bunch of debt from the United States, and they people can buy treasury bonds. That's what that's about. You're buying the government's debt, and you'll know it'll be paid off. So that's anybody could do that as far as that goes. Not even true if you look it up. So the point of me bringing it up is, China itself, it does some bad things. I'm not promoting them, but there'll be an American version of TikTok, which I think ultimately everybody won't be hurt, but they'll have to start all over again But it just goes to show, and people need to unite over this and get mad about it. If I would be lobbying my representative, if I was a creator on there to the level where it mattered. And people are just like, they're, they might try, they might not, they're always dipping their toes in the water, see what they can fucking do. And a lot of times we don't even pay attention. They do what they want anyway. But the times that we do pay attention, and when I say we, I mean all of us, regardless of how you feel politically, what do? They back the fuck down because they're like, oh shit, people actually care about this. And the thing about, social media in general, if you don't like it, that's fine. If you don't want to be on it, that's fine. No problems. Totally get it. But don't buy into this bullshit notion that it's an evil Chinese app that's stealing your identity. I can tell you there's major companies where my identity has been fucking leaked. I don't see anybody banning them.
Yep.
Like literally leaked. Okay, so, and I'll get a fucking shitty parting gift. So don't give me this, ooh, they're taking your data. That cat's out of the bag. Like, your data's out there. Most of us, it's out there. Am I right, Mike? I mean, maybe
Absolutely.
you're not vital things, but, there's a dark web with some crazy shit on there. And then there's like, stuff that you look at, whatever. That cat's out the bag. So do not fall for that. I mean, I don't know. What's your take on it, Mike? Don't you think this is kind of draconian or just bullshit that they're trying to?
It is kind of bullshit. It is. Once you start looking into it and you start following the trail, it does come up as some bullshit. I did want to point out that you mentioned like other companies doing the same as TikTok. We already have Facebook that has Reels, and if you ever take the time to watch some of the Reels, it works exactly the same as TikTok, where you can scroll through and the videos play. And it works the same. It's basically Mark Zuckerberg's answer to TikTok to try and keep people in his app longer.
Isn't it funny the velocity of how this was addressed for people like big companies like Meta, and they own Instagram, and man, the politicians were fucking on that like a hawk. They picked their players and they said, "This is what we want you to win." Crazy to me.
It is.
Okay.
Here's the craziest thing. The things that we can find out by just simple Google searches or reading articles or looking a little deeper. What about the things that don't leak, that aren't publicized, that you don't find out about? Like, that's the shit that
or shit that people don't pay attention to.
Right. That they're actually able to sweep under the rug and you don't it doesn't leak out. Like, that's the shit that bothers me. Like, because for everything that leaks out, there's at least one or two things that don't.
So, yeah, 100%. It's just crazy to me. 99% of these politicians, they're playing for the same team, and it's not us, not our team.
And you are damn straight with the fact that all of these social media apps use our personal information to their highest advantage. Not only
Absolutely.
our personal information, but our friend circles, who we interact with, how we interact with them. They use it all. And to act like TikTok's not using it in the same fashion is just ignorance.
Well, I don't know who Guru JJ is, but welcome to the chat. Man, we're making it big if we're getting spammed right there. So I want you to pull up. We have a new segment that I'm going to announce. Mike, you pull up the screenshots of the conversation.
Screenshots of the conversation. Oh, wait a second. Yeah, that was some weird stuff, dude. You sent me that. I'm like, what the hell is going on here?
So this is called To Catch a Spammer.
Okay, give me a second.
All right. No, but Mike's bringing it up. But yeah, so I get a curious message. And a lot of us guys have got that. Guru down here has really inspired me. I don't even know what the fuck you just said. He probably could have stole all our information in 1 second right there.
Yeah.
We got Mark Zuckerberg's hitman in the chat. So, everybody gets these random people. And like sometimes you're like, who's a mutual friend on Facebook and Instagram are the two major ones. So, I always try to fuck with them because they're always trying to sell you something. So we're going to go into the conversation here. And they go, I go, hello. Because I messaged them because I was just curious. And they go, hello. I'm like, are you okay? That's what they asked me. I'm like, okay. This person does not know English. Yes, are you? Laugh out loud. I'm fine too. Nice to meet you. Where are you from? Philadelphia. I'm not telling them anything. Philadelphia's a beautiful city. This is Ting. That's Ting. This is Ting.
So wait a
It's a
second.
beautiful
You messaged them first. Why?
because they had they friend requested me, so I wanted to head them off of the pass. I was feeling frisky, so Philadelphia is a beautiful city. She says I often travel there for business. I'll be there in 3 months. Do you still live there? Yes, I do still. Oh, okay. It looks like we'll have a chance to meet then. Go to the next one, Mike. There's 3 of them. You know, nope. That's the yeah, there you go. Well, I'm trying to think. Where did it go? Oh, that's the first one, the last one. But you'll laugh at this. So I go, maybe you never know. Do you have a picture? I'm asking for pictures. Yes, I have on WhatsApp. When they bring up WhatsApp, you always know what's happening next. I never talked about WhatsApp. How old are you? Looking at your photos, you're very young. I'm 40 years old. I'm 41. You look nothing like the photos. Well maintained. And what exactly is your job? I'm a bear trainer. Right. So your work is very good. I believe you have great breakthroughs and achievements in this area. How long have you been in this industry? So this is where it gets fun. Oh, I've been doing manual masturbation for 29 years. I'm sorry, 20. Go to the next slide, Mike. And so, and it's been very climactic. I told her.
Yeah.
I helped them with anal gland brief as well. I meant to say relief. You ever see a bear rub its butt on your floor? Question mark. And this is why it's fun to play spammers. Must have a lot of experience. I look forward to future talks and learning, and I'm sure you have a lot to teach me. Besides your own job, what other investments do you have to protect your wealth, such as stocks, bonds, funds, or cryptocurrencies? I own a dildo factory. We own and produce dildos that are not Caucasian, all sizes. I own a minority dildo factory. You have a very good career. How long have you been in the industry? It's taking a lot of stroking, I said, and that was the end of that.
Jesus Christ. What's wrong with you?
Dude, just next time you get that, it's called catch a spammer. The line they were gonna go is, hey, you want to connect them on WhatsApp? Like this WhatsApp shit right here. I don't even know who this guy is. But thanks for listening, Guru. It's a musician and it's a band. And he has 1 follower. Okay, cool. Yeah. Must be brand new. Yeah.
I like it.
We'll probably both get friend requests after the show. So that's to catch a spammer.
And what I'm going to do is
I'm going to engage these people that want to spam me. I got 2 today. And I'm just going to try to say funny shit and see it. I wonder if it's a cheap version of Chat GPT or something. Just a bot responding to me. Hey, what are you looking to do today? Sit on your face. Like,
Be careful, dude. You wake up the next morning, your account has been hacked. They've wiped your funds clear. They've posted.
But that's not by chatting.
Sales.
That's by clicking on a link and giving them information.
Not always.
Anything I said to them was already on my profile. So who knows? But we'll see, man. Yeah, I've had to take extra layers of security personally because of data collection and data being stolen. So
right.
Yeah, totally on board with that. So I feel like spam is an American thing. It's like our thing. We love it, right? We like to.
I love it.
Yeah. So speaking of American, who would be an American hero to you?
An American hero. See, that's a loaded question, bro.
I got 2.
Go ahead.
Bernie Sanders and Jon Stewart. That's just for me personally. I like Howard Stern.
I'll go with the Jon. Jon Stewart has done a lot of good. And it's weird to have a comedian that's in that realm. But
Howard Stern too.
His interviews, no, not Howard Stern. His interviews, his talks to Congress, his speeches to crowds. He's now become the voice of the people, and it really is something to be admired. I'd accept that one.
Stern pushed the boundaries in I think of what we can get away saying on air.
Yeah, but that's a different thing. I mean, yeah, free speech and all that kind of stuff. But in terms of somebody to be admired, to be looked upon, to be a great leader, Jon Stewart.
Well, you could be a hero on any other story, but I agree with you about
Stewart.
Does it
in a selfless way, and it really is. He has become someone to admire.
Yeah. So, yeah, man, I agree there. He's a champion of the people. It's the best way to describe Jon Stewart in a short.
Great way to describe him.
Yeah. So I'm a huge fan. He does a show right now called The Problem with Jon Stewart. It's on Apple TV. Tip, if you're a T-Mobile customer, they give you Apple TV for free monthly along with Netflix.
Getting a tip.
Yeah, so if you have T-Mobile and you're listening, you don't have those, you can get it free through T-Mobile. I know.
Tell them you got just the tip from taking it deep.
Just the tip from taking it deep. That's the promo code. Just kidding. So, just the tip is the promo code. But yeah, man, crazy. It's they got a lot of good shows on there, but the show in general was he has conversations with people. I like people that will have the tough conversation and talk about the unpopular thing, and he'll have conversations with people and he'll spar with them in an interview, and it's amazing. He was talking about gun control, and if you don't know me, I'm for it, but I'm also a gun owner, so probably not the way you've been led to believe that people that are for reform would think, but and he's just an artist with the way he can have conversation and kind of corner people to show them that they're full of shit. This one who he's doing on gun control was interesting because, you'll talk to a lot of police that will tell you like more guns is not a good thing for them. And the stats prove it. Number one killer of children, gun violence. More than cancer. 100% correct. And, he'll talk to people, and I love this. He'll be like, hey, the guy was like, well, no, that's not opinion, that's fact, right? Like, I like people that do that, because people try to steer an argument a different way, for a purpose. And he was talking to a guy that just, it's crazy to me that we're going to talk about, like, certain states when they go, you want to have you can carry a gun complete without a permit. So now they don't even know if you're a felon. And you can carry a gun without a permit. That's how far people were going to politicize things. Most gun owners don't want that. And he said in the interview, and I implore you to watch it, he goes, what do you have to do to vote? And the guy said everything. He's like, register. Because he was saying how it was a right, like votes are right. Okay, so you have to register to vote, right? You see, and watch it. I'm not doing it justice.
Yeah,
but I will tell you,
I've watched a few clips on TikTok. It was very well done.
He does good work. I'm a fan of John Oliver too, because I think they can kind of bridge the gap between both sides sometimes when there's common issues that we both all be like, what the fuck? And I believe most people aren't part of the two groups that may go too far each way. It's what's frustrating is it's like, why do these people get to decide everything?
Yeah.
And our politicians set it up that way because that's how they can drive the vehicle to the polls of what they want to happen. That's why they do it that way. Pretty fucking simple. It's like watching WWE play out in real life. But speaking about WWE playing out in real life and collecting things and being American and selfless, Mike sent me something. I don't know about Mike. If you like to collect things, Mike, there's things I like to collect, but not what this woman likes to collect. Apparently, she collected 2,000 used condoms. Displays them on her bedroom wall.
I thought you would enjoy that one.
Yeah. Displays them on her bedroom wall. And, I'm wondering if this will fall under clickbait or not, but we're going to play it anyway. Deacon Chronicle, where it's from. I don't know if it's showing up on Mike's feed, but people all over the world have interesting hobbies, of which some can easily be described as bizarre. While sex is something that people take seriously, and a lot have fetishes, some weird preferences manage to astonish people every once in a while. Although condoms are important in an age when the emphasis on safe sex is greater than ever, a 27-year-old woman from Norway took things to another level.
I'm showing a picture of her right now, and I would
thousands.
I don't think she's the only one who does this. I think there's
Wow.
other women that do this.
The woman has displayed her collection of 2,000 condoms on her bedroom for everyone to see. Tonji started. Her name is Tony, I guess, but it's Tonje. So
Yeah.
I'm assuming it's Tony. Started collecting condoms in 2010 when she asked her boyfriend to keep the condom he had just used because of the smell. Ew. Her boyfriend found it nasty and broke up with her after some time when the woman asked drunk friends who had sex in her bed to leave their used condom as well. Well, she's a swinger. All right, so pineapples everywhere. This was just the beginning as Tony went on to collect thousands of condoms, including many she ended up paying up to $75 for. There were also some condoms on the wall, which are accompanied by pictures of the donor, which she shells out $10. Meanwhile, Tony has no plans of stopping for a while. She seeks to take her collection past 10,000. She is also getting some help from her father, who has asked friends to donate their love gloves to her daughter as well. Now, okay.
No. So couple of things. First off, I thought they were like souvenirs for her. No, if people are donating them, first off, bullshit. No, you had to have gotten them used on you. That's one thing. The second thing, a question for you. You walk in.
She has to put that 2,000 cocks on there?
You meet a girl at a bar.
I don't think this is clickbait. Is it clickbait? I'm trying to look.
I don't think it is. I don't think it is.
I mean, it's a couple years old.
You meet a girl, she's banging, you think she's hot, you want to go back to her room. You go into her room, and this is on her wall. Is that a deal breaker?
I mean, that's a tough one because...
Is it a deal breaker? You're at the bar, you're already raring to go, you've been hooking up with her, dancing, grinding, whatever. Get back to her house, you go into the bedroom, this is on the wall. Do you bail?
Is this a first date?
Yeah, or either first date or you met her at the bar, whatever it is, but...
Well, I would say and you could tell me I'm wrong here, but if I was wondering if I was going to get laid, I feel like my chances have just gone up.
They've just gone up, but is it a deal breaker? Also, you know that she's been safe. You know that you don't have to worry about probably any
diseases. Been safe, but I also have to assess, do I want to get into this conversation on the spot immediately in probably 0.10 seconds? You know, is she trying to keep my sperm, and is this chick going to like freeze it and do I don't know, like what's going on here? Right, I mean, you got to decide at that point whether you're going to bring it up or she's going to bring it up, and you're going to just have to relax and see how it plays out. Me, I'm going to sit back and see if she brings it up. And then eventually, I'll give it some time. I'll say something like, so, you're not going to bring up those condoms on the wall over there? Those 2,000 condoms? Just got to pretend like it's not there?
First off, I'm going to take your answers.
Are those rubber stocking stuffers? Does Santa come to Norway 2,000 times on one night?
So I'm taking from this your answer that it is not a deal breaker. That's first off. So second off, so I'm going to take it as at some point somehow you do the deed. Now, what if
we got to do the crazy hot matrix though? I mean, like I got to do a dollar per hassle ratio here. I mean,
right?
You know, is this a girl I'm really lusting after? Like, I want this girl.
Well, here's
at my age, we're a little choosier now. We're like, you know what?
But again,
this isn't worth it.
She's been safe with the guys. You know her count number.
Okay, she's got dudes' pictures of there. So all right, let's say we're banging and you make eye contact with one of these pictures.
Well, that's your fault. First off, second off,
so I got to be like this up in the air, like, oh man.
So you
like,
bang
just like looking.
You bang a couple times with this girl. Nothing serious, not dating, nothing. You're just banging a couple times. Is there a point if you do not see your picture and your condom that you used on the wall? Do you start getting a little jealous? Like, why? You know, you've left your condom on her nightstand. I'm going to tell you
why, though.
Or her.
I'm going to tell you
now,
why.
Would you be kind of like bummed that she's not putting you on her list, on her wall?
Well, this conversation would have to happen the night that I got there. And the conversation would have several subjects in it. But one of these questions that I would ask is, what does one do to get on the wall? Like, you know, is it like a Hall of Fame? Is it like retiring a condom, like a jersey? Like, is it a condom per bang? Is it something that are you into recycle and reusing, and you're dumpster diving for condoms? I mean, I don't know, like, you know, and you know, hopefully she has a sense of humor and she's not uptight about it. I mean, I would think she isn't if she had 2,000 condoms in the room with pictures on it.
Right.
The other thing that would go through my mind is this bitch going to try to kill me, put me on, you know, ice and take my fucking kidney when I fall asleep if I bang her? Like, if I banged her and I decided to go through this, I got one eye open. I'm like this. I'm not sleeping awake now. I'm like, no fucking way. In fact, I definitely might not sleep over at that house, because now, if that's what you first see when you walk in my head, I'm like, oh my God, what does the bathroom look like?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
they're just put up there with thumbtacks. Like, if you slept over, one just falls off and falls onto your eyeball while you're sleeping.
By the way, I used to think guys had bad bathrooms, like, you know, were disgusting. But I got to tell you, single girls, their bathrooms are just as bad, if not worse. Sometimes there's a goddamn cat litter box in there.
There you go. Yeah, that's true.
Do you have where's your cat litter box?
In her bathroom.
Mike's not pro animal, so he's like, fuck. So, do you ever taste kitty litter in your mouth after you take a poop?
Shut up. And thank you to everybody for tuning in.
But yeah, man, this lady, man, I don't know. It's an old article. It doesn't seem like clickbait, man. Yeah, I looked it up.
Like I said, I do not think that she is the only one doing that. I think that literally there's probably more.
All right, so this is what makes me think. This is what makes me think it's clickbait, Mike. I'll tell you why.
It was definitely clickbait. 100% it's clickbait.
So it's not true
in terms of the story, but I don't. That story might not be true, but I do. Yeah, because
it's been posted on 2020 before I looked it up.
But I do not doubt that females out there have done that and are currently doing that.
What, hanging condoms on walls by the thousands?
I don't know about hanging, but saving.
Yeah, I had that happen to me once.
Oh.
And it was because I was having sex with my girlfriend at the time, and the condom busted. And I'm like, and she like freaked out because, you know, she couldn't do like birth control, so I was fine. You know, and part of a compromise. You know, I wanted her to be comfortable, and it was always like I didn't mind wearing a condom. It was like whatever.
Yeah.
And the sex was worth it, so totally. But the funny thing is, when it happened, she put it in the freezer. I'm like, what are you gonna do with that? You gonna do some DNA testing? You're gonna do CSI with my condom? Like, what the fuck? Like we weren't dating for several months.
Right.
Like, she was gonna have to be like, and I almost wanted to say to myself, is there another dick that you need it, like, in my head? But I was like, no. And I was almost like, was there another, you know, would you be unsure of who impregnated you? Like, you know, in my head, I was like, okay, you know what I mean? But whatever. Yeah, that was really weird. I'm like, I asked her, and her answer was, so I could sue Trojan. I'm like, oh, you don't think there's a disclaimer on the back? Okay.
Jesus Christ.
She was intelligent. She had a master's degree. So
we will tell all the listeners, please wrap it.
Yeah. And with that, we're going to wrap it up.
Oh, that was the best transition of the whole show. Look at
my career.
It's like you're a professional broadcaster.
Right?
Man.
So with that being said, folks, we're going to wrap it up. You know, you can't go wrong if you shield your dong. Thank you for taking some time with us. We're going to probably be like, you know, with football season, we're having a show on different nights. So it's going to be different. And, you know, we'll have it on a different night, but we're playing with the format, and we're going to try to make you laugh and think at the same time. And thanks for taking it deep. Thanks for spitting in Tom's face. This is the Godfrey. Not saying go bye, just saying take it deep.